She said she was overwhelmed and needed space. Her location said she was at a rooftop bar. I made a dinner reservation at the same place. Sat at the bar. Toasted when she walked in holding hands with him. I met Sarah at a small bookstore in downtown Seattle. She was browsing the fiction section, and we struck up a conversation about our favorite authors. One thing led to another, and we exchanged numbers. Our first date was at a local coffee shop, and we clicked instantly. We shared similar interests, from hiking in the Cascades to watching indie films. After a year of dating, we moved in together. Things were great for the first couple of years. We supported each other's careers, took weekend trips, and even adopted a dog together. But then, I started noticing changes. Sarah became distant, often glued to her phone and less interested in spending time together. When I asked her about it, she said she was feeling overwhelmed and needed some space. I respected her request and gave her the space she needed. She started going out more, saying she was meeting up with friends or working late. I tried to be understanding, but something didn't feel right. One evening, she told me she needed some time alone to clear her head and mentioned going for a walk in the park. Out of curiosity, I checked the Find My Friends app on my phone. We had shared our locations with each other for safety reasons. To my surprise, her location showed she was at a rooftop bar downtown. My heart sank. I decided to confront the situation head-on. I made a dinner reservation at the same rooftop bar under a different name. I dressed up, trying to mask my anxiety with a composed exterior. As I arrived at the bar, I took a seat at the counter, facing the entrance. Minutes felt like hours as I waited. Then I saw her. Sarah walked in, holding hands with a man I had never seen before. They looked happy, laughing and chatting as they approached the hostess. I felt a surge of emotions: betrayal, anger, sadness. I raised my glass and toasted in their direction. Sarah's eyes met mine, and her expression turned from joy to shock. She whispered something to the man, and they both looked at me. I stood up, walked over to them, and calmly said, "Enjoy your evening." Without waiting for a response, I turned and left. That night, I packed my belongings and moved out of our apartment. I left a note explaining that I knew about her betrayal and that I deserved honesty and respect. I stayed with a friend for a few weeks while I searched for a new place. Sarah tried to contact me multiple times, sending messages and leaving voicemails, apologizing and asking for forgiveness. But I knew I couldn't go back to a relationship built on lies. I needed to heal and move forward. I focused on rebuilding my life. I joined a local hiking group, reconnected with old friends, and even started therapy to process my emotions. Slowly, I began to find peace and rediscover my sense of self. One day, while hiking in the mountains, I met someone new. Her name was Lily, and she had a warm smile and a kind heart. We started talking, and our connection grew over time. With her, I found the honesty and companionship I had been missing. Looking back, I realized that Sarah's betrayal, while painful, was a turning point in my life. It forced me to confront uncomfortable truths and make difficult decisions. But through that experience, I learned the importance of self-respect, honesty, and resilience. Now I live each day with gratitude for the lessons learned and the strength gained. Life has a way of testing us, but it's through those tests that we discover our true selves. A few weeks after I moved out, things started to settle. I was staying with my friend Marcus in his 2-bedroom apartment just outside the city. He gave me space, but also made sure I didn't sit around in my own head too much. Nights were hard. My brain wouldn't shut up. I kept seeing her face when she walked into that rooftop bar. The way her fingers were laced with his. Like I had just been erased. Then, something strange happened. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I ignored it. They called again the next day. Then I got a text. "You don't know me, but I think we should talk. It's about Sarah. I'm not a threat." I stared at the screen. My first thought was to block the number, but curiosity clawed at me. I replied, "Who are you?" The response came fast. His name is Blake. The guy she was with that night. I'm his sister. I just stared at my phone for a while. Then she sent another message. He's done this before. More than once. And I think she's not being honest with you either. If you want to know more, meet me. My gut said not to do it. But something else pushed me. I agreed to meet her at a neutral spot, a small coffee shop in Fremont. Her name was Rachel. She looked tired. Like someone who'd been dealing with her brother's messes for too long. She didn't waste time. Blake has a pattern, she said. He finds women who are already in relationships. He tells them they deserve better. That he can give them something real. He's charming. He makes them feel seen. Then he uses them. Emotionally, financially. Once they're hooked, he gets controlling. Possessive. And eventually, they either break down or he leaves them worse than he found them. I didn't say anything. Just kept listening. Your ex? Sarah? She's not the first. But here's the thing, she's also not innocent. I felt that line like a punch to the chest. Rachel pulled out her phone and slid it across the table. I didn't want to believe it either. But I'd been watching Blake. I have to. He ruins people. She had pictures. Screenshots. Messages. One thread between Blake and Sarah was dated months before the night at the Rooftop bar. Months. They'd been talking, flirting, sending pictures, planning meetups. One message from Sarah read, "He thinks I'm at yoga. I'm driving over now. Can't wait to see you." That one hit hard. Rachel looked at me with sympathy but didn't sugarcoat it. She was playing you. He was using her. And now? She's in deep. He's isolating her. I don't think she even knows how bad it's going to get. I left the coffee shop feeling like the ground under me was made of glass. Everything I thought I knew about my relationship was cracking apart. She hadn't just made a mistake. She'd lied, over and over, while looking me in the eye every morning. Back at Marcus's place, I poured a drink and sat on the balcony for hours, watching the city lights blink. I thought about revenge, but nothing I could do would fix the hole that was blown open in my chest. Then, 3 days later, Sarah called. She never called. Always texts. Always indirect. But this time, it was a call. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Her voice was shaking. I messed up. I don't know what I'm doing. He's not who I thought he was. I need to talk. Please. She sounded scared. I didn't reply. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But that night, Marcus came into my room holding his phone. "You're gonna want to see this," he said. He showed me a post on Reddit. It was on a throwaway account, but the writing felt familiar. It was titled, "My boyfriend cheated with me and now he's showing signs of being dangerous. What do I do?" She didn't use names, but the timeline matched. The details? Even a line about meeting someone at a rooftop bar while still living with her partner. She was talking about me. And Blake. And now, it seemed like she was finally realizing who she had gotten involved with. The comments were brutal. People calling her out, saying she deserved what she got. A few offered advice. One suggested getting a restraining order. I didn't sleep that night. Next morning, I got another message. From Rachel. He found out she was talking to me. She's not answering her phone anymore. I'm worried. I stared at the screen. My hands shook. This wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. It was turning into something darker. Something real. And suddenly, I didn't know if walking away was still the right move. I didn't know what to do with Rachel's message. I just sat there, phone in hand, heart beating hard. I wanted to believe this wasn't my problem anymore. That I could wash my hands of all of it. But something about the way Sarah sounded in that voicemail, the panic in her voice, kept looping in my head. She was scared. And not in the way someone gets scared after getting dumped. This was deeper. Marcus saw me pacing. "If she's in trouble, man, don't sit this one out." I called Rachel. She picked up right away. He took her phone. What? She called me from someone else's. Said she wasn't allowed to leave the apartment. Said he started going through her stuff, deleting numbers. She said he threatened to hurt her dog if she didn't stop talking to people. This didn't sound like the Sarah I knew. Or maybe it did, and I had just never seen what she was capable of attracting, or choosing. Either way, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I asked Rachel for the address. She hesitated, but gave it to me. It was across town, a nicer part of Queen Anne, in a newly built high-rise. Blake had money, apparently. Or at least, knew how to act like he did. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I had no plan. Just this sharp heat in my chest that wouldn't cool down. I drove over. Parked 2 blocks away. Stood across the street from the building for a long time. Then I walked in like I lived there, nodding to the doorman, pretending to be on my phone. Her unit was on the 15th floor. I took the stairs up the first 5, then the elevator the rest of the way. No cameras in the stairwells. At the door I paused. No yelling inside. No sound at all. I knocked. Nothing. I knocked again, louder. I heard a soft thud. Then footsteps. The door opened a crack. Sarah. Her face was pale, eyes red, like she hadn't slept in days. Her lips moved but no sound came out. Then I heard it, a voice inside, sharp, pissed. "Who the hell is that?" Blake appeared behind her. Tall, smug, like he thought he owned the entire floor. He looked at me like he was trying to place me. Then it clicked. "You're the ex?" he said. I didn't respond. Just stared at Sarah. "You okay?" I asked. She blinked fast. Then nodded barely. "Get out of here," Blake said, stepping closer. "This isn't your business anymore." I looked at her again. "You want to leave?" She didn't speak. Just stepped back from the door and nodded once, a little harder this time. Blake's hand went out fast, grabbed her wrist. That's when I lost it. I shoved the door open with my shoulder and pushed him back, hard. He wasn't expecting it. He hit the wall, then charged back, swinging. We both stumbled into the hallway, fists flying. I hadn't been in a fight since college. It was messy, clumsy. But adrenaline made up for technique. Neighbors started yelling. Someone shouted they were calling the cops. That's when Sarah ran out, dog in her arms, crying. I backed off, breathing hard, and told her to go. She didn't hesitate. Just ran for the elevator. Blake tried to lunge after her, but I blocked him. "You go near her again," I said. "You'll have more than bruises to deal with." Cops showed up 10 minutes later. We were both bleeding. I told them everything. So did the neighbors. Apparently they'd heard yelling from that apartment for days. Sarah gave a full statement later. So did Rachel. Blake was arrested that night. Not just for what happened to me, but for other stuff. Fraud, apparently. He wasn't rich. He was faking it. Living off the women he manipulated. Debt collectors had been trying to find him for years. I didn't talk to Sarah for a while after that. She went back to her sister's place up in Bellingham. Rachel kept me updated. But then, out of nowhere, about a month later, she showed up. Not a call. Not a text. Just showed up at the door of Marcus's place. She looked different. Like someone who'd been through something deep. She didn't say anything at first. Just handed me a small envelope. Inside was a photo. It was a picture of us, from 2 years ago, at Rattlesnake Ledge. We were sitting on a rock, sweaty from the hike, smiling like the world hadn't hit us yet. On the back, she had written, "I'm sorry. I ruined something good. But I never lied about loving you." Then she turned and walked away. And I stood there, still holding the past in my hands. Not sure what to do next. I didn't chase after her. I just stood there with that photo in my hand, heart pounding. The picture felt like it came from a different life. A life I had already buried, or thought I had. For a few days I did nothing. Thought maybe that was the end of it. That she got what she needed to say off her chest and was finally gone for good. But then Marcus called me at work. Said Sarah came back while I was out. Left a box. I got home, opened it up. Inside were more photos, old letters, the sweatshirt she used to sleep in, all the things I didn't realize were missing from the apartment when I moved out. There was also a note. Handwritten, no signature. "He's out. Charges dropped." Said I lied about everything? Now people believe him. I'm scared. I dropped the note and sat on the floor. My chest felt tight. Not because I missed her, but because I knew where this was headed. Blake was dangerous, and now he was angry. And Sarah? She was still tangled in all of it. Rachel confirmed it. A week later, she told me Blake had started messaging Sarah again. From different numbers. Showing up outside her building. Friends of his were harassing her online. He wanted control again. And she was cracking under it. I thought about just letting it all burn. Not my life anymore. Not my mess. But some part of me, maybe the part that still hadn't forgiven myself for not seeing it sooner, couldn't let it go. So I started digging. I found Blake's old online accounts. Old usernames. Turns out he liked to brag. About women. About scams. There were posts, years back, where he talked about pretending to be a startup investor. About making women feel seen, so they'd give him money, places to stay, connections. I screenshotted everything. I cross-checked names. And then I did something I never thought I'd do. I created a burner Reddit account. I posted it all. Exposed. The man who pretends to love women to bleed them dry. I didn't name him directly. But I posted the receipts. Messages. Quotes. Fake businesses tied to his name. His old mugshot from a minor arrest in Florida 5 years ago. I didn't have to say his name, people figured it out. Fast. Within hours, the post exploded. Thousands of upvotes. Comments piling in. Some women came forward, said they dated someone just like him. Same methods. Same manipulation. A few even dropped matching photos of him from different cities. Turns out, this wasn't just a pattern. It was his whole life. By the next day, it hit Twitter. Then local blogs. Then news. And then, I got a call from Rachel. "Blake's freaking out," she said. "He knows it was you." Good. He messaged me that night. From a new number. "You're gonna regret this. You don't know who you're messing with." I texted back one word. "Liar." Then I blocked him. A week later, a journalist reached out. Asked for an interview. I didn't say no. The story went public. Fully public. My name was in it. Sarah's too. She agreed to speak. So did 3 other women from different states. Each one had stories. Receipts. Pain. Blake disappeared for a while. Deleted all his socials. Shut down his fake company sites. But you can't outrun your own trash forever. 2 months later, a woman in Chicago filed a formal case. Another followed. Fraud. Assault. Misrepresentation. Identity theft. They found him in a rental cabin in Arizona. Hiding under a different name. This time, he didn't walk. As for Sarah, she moved again. Got a new job. Cut off everything connected to that life. She wrote me one more letter. Said thank you. Said sorry. Said she hoped someday she could forgive herself, but didn't expect me to. I didn't reply. Because while she had made mistakes, real ones, ones that cost us both, I had too. I let things slide. Ignored signs. I held on to something that had already died. And when it started falling apart, I let her lie to me. Let her convince me it was just stress, just space. I didn't want to face it, so I didn't. We both bled for it. But in the end, I lit the match. And watched the whole thing burn. She lost her pride. He lost his freedom. And I lost my silence.